Alright, well, ugh, watched a couple of movies over the last couple of days I'd never seen before. I know I said I'd basically do this format for new releases, but you know what? I'm going to do it anytime there's something I want to talk about that I just watched that I'd never seen before instead of doing the big bulk videos I used to do. I'm going to do it this way. Why not? It's my choice. It's my channel. Not like anyone watches this anyways. So, there's a couple of movies I've watched since Sunday. It now being Tuesday, I've watched four total. Two of which were off of Tubi. Two of which I physically had copies of. I found copies of them. I bought copies of them because I really wanted to watch them. And I think I made a mistake on a couple of these. One of them I got perfectly right. I watched it the right format. Yeah, yeah. The other three I got wrong. So I'm going to touch base. Some of these I might talk a little more in depth about. The first one was called The Town That Dreaded Sundown. This was the original 1970 something. I don't have notes or the case or anything. Now this is a physical one I owned. I'm going to not own it anymore. It wasn't good. I didn't care for it. It's a classic, and I see why it's a classic. I get it. I get why this movie is a classic and considered a horror iconic movie. It's just not for me. It's so slow. It's such a slow movie. It's based on the Phantom murders in Texarkana that happened shortly after World War II, so in the 40s. Basically, a dude in a burlap sack mask killed five people and injured three others. Basically, he killed in a lover's lane and attacked two people in their house. It was kind of, it wanted to be a documentary, but still being a movie, and it just didn't work for me. It didn't work for me. I'd actually seen this out of order because a sequel was made in 2014, I think, also entitled The Town That Dreaded Sundown. It might actually be one of the earliest examples of a true requel that is definitely forgotten because it's also not that good. I thought that maybe I didn't care for it that much because I had never seen the original. I've seen the original and I still don't care for it, and I don't think the second one would be any better. It doesn't even clarify like anything that I didn't get in the second one, so it's not great. It's not great. I should have found it on a streaming service. I'm sure it's on one. I just found a physical copy of it and went, man, I should watch this. This is a horror movie you're told is supposed to be really good if you're an aficionado. It's just weird that all four movies I'm talking about are all in the horror genre. Yeah, it's just a weird coincidence that they are. But it's not. It's not a great horror movie. Like I don't remember anything super particular about the movie. Like nothing really stands out and makes me go, man, that's something to talk about. Like it's just all kind of boring. Like you got a narrator, he's narrating the movie. Uh, there aren't any characters because again, it's trying to be a documentary. It kind of just here are the victims, and there we go, which is a kind of a running theme for what I'm talking about. The next one I watched was the Brian De Palma film, which is the only movie made by a director whose name I actually know or could name other works by that director. His movie Dress to Kill. Dress to Kill is weird. Like it's not bad. I don't think it's great. I don't think I need to ever watch it again. It wasn't bad, but it was weird. It spends almost 40 minutes setting up to the kill. And I'm not saying like the first kill, I'm like the only kill of this movie. This is a movie that legit has one kill in its entire runtime, and it takes them 40 minutes to get to it, and it's an hour and a half movie. So that's it's like an hour and 40. It's about the first like there's about an hour of movie left once you get to it, and this kill is the setup of the plot. This is our plot setup here. Uh, so I didn't care. I didn't care because I heard about this movie as well about this kill and what it's about and all of that. So I knew it was coming, and because it took, I think it was like 35 minutes. I did check like when it happened. I'm like, what? How long was that? and I did check it. It was like 35 minutes of this movie eaten up just setting up this kill, which I'm sure back when it came out and people went to see it in theaters, it was a huge shock because all of a sudden this character who you've literally followed this entire time, like you don't meet the actual main character until like the middle of the murder. Um, so you're following this one character through this movie, and then they just get hacked to death. Um, so I guess it would have worked. I'm sure it worked back when it came out. Um, Modern age, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work as well if you know what's coming. It's just a long setup for a payoff, which is fine, but it, if you know what's coming, you want it to be shorter. Again, that's not really knocking the film, because the film was made, for that first viewing experience with an audience who doesn't know what's going on, as all films are. It's just, the rewatchability isn't there. It's just not there. It's just not there. But yeah, basically, a woman is killed. A prostitute sees the body and gets a look at the murderer, and now she's being stalked and has to figure out who the murderer is. And you find out that the murderer shares a psychiatrist with the dead girl, and that the murderer wants a sex change operation, but can't get the approval of the psychiatrist. And yeah, it's very yeah, it's one of those movies that doesn't really that tries to both at the same time say there's nothing wrong, that psychopaths and transgenders don't go together, while at the same time having a main villain that is a transgendered person who is a psychopath. They have another character who I guess is also transgender, but it just looks like a woman. And it's never made clear. Like, I got it from the IMDb trivia that character was supposed to also be a transitioned person. And it just looked like a woman. Like, maybe she looked a little. You just couldn't look at her and know. Like, you couldn't look at the character and immediately go, oh, that obviously. So that effect was not that you should be able to. I'm not trying to say that. I'm not trying to say you should be able to. But if you want to get that point across without saying it, you gotta make it. Tell us. Is what I'm saying. Make it look like, oh, it looks like a woman. Tell us. I think that is why I was like so confused, because it just looked like it painted transgenders. It's the same thing as like Silence of the Lambs, which is a great movie. I love Silence of the Lambs, but it has that, like, sometimes psychopaths might have these other things, and that's just life, and it's true, but it's hard. It's hard when it's that kind of stuff that already has had a stigma on it, to then add this stuff to it. Again, it's a fine movie. Dressed for Kill is fine. I'm not going to watch it again. Those are the two movies I bought. I had physical copies of. I should have just streamed them both. Yeah, all right. The next film I watched, it's actually the best one out of all four I watched. It's called Pieces. It is a Italian film, I believe. Italian or Spanish. I'm not 100% sure. It takes place in Boston. They didn't film it in Boston, but they say Boston a lot, because I don't think this movie was ever meant for anything other than American audiences. Like, they made it knowing they'd sell it to American audiences, even though it sounds like it's a fistful of a spaghetti western, where everything is dubbed, everyone is dubbed, because I'm not even sure they took audio when they recorded the movie, and they just had everyone dub. They just had people dub over the actors and the actresses later on to create the audio track, and the actors just kind of like, because some of them have real, like, they look like their dubbing is spot on, like they're actually saying what's being dubbed in their lips and the words match. And then there are other people who are definitely speaking another language, and their lips do not match the words that they are saying. It's a entertaining film. It's like an hour and 25 minutes, I think, and it just moves. It just keeps going. It's about it opens up with a boy who is working on a jigsaw puzzle of a nude woman. Why he has this jigsaw puzzle? He's like 10. He just has it. His mom shows up, sees the puzzle, gets pissed because her 10-year-old has a nudie jigsaw puzzle. Blake says that he's gonna end up like the boy's gonna end up like his dad, who apparently is fighting in a war. I think they say Vietnam. Vietnam is what sticks in my head. I think they say he's fighting in Vietnam, and that which just even raises more questions of where this kid got this puzzle from, because his father is fighting in a foreign country, probably not from dad. So she gets pissed off, starts ripping the kid's room apart, looking for other porn or pornographic materials, and the kid axe murders his mother and then chops her up with a saw. Eventually, cops show up, and they just assume that it was someone who broke in. Like, they don't even think the kid did it. The kid's covered in blood. Like, he's actually covered in blood, hiding in a closet, and they don't think he did it. The movie then skips 40 years into the future, where a college campus is now being stalked by a murderer who is chainsawing people to death. The first victim, literally, like, again, IMDb is the only reason I know that there's a girl who is skateboarding and crashes into a plane of glass, and then there's a girl who gets decapitated like 2 minutes later in this movie, and it's the same girl. Like, IMDb is the only reason I know that's a thing, because it was really hard to tell. Like, I thought it was. Like, when I watched it, I went, I think that is. Was not certain. Because I think the skateboarding glass thing was actually a flashback of the murderer, because his mother smashed a window or smashed a mirror before he murdered her, and I think this woman smashing through a mirror that was being moved by moving men re-triggered it, and that's what made him want to rebuild his nudie puzzle and build one in reality by taking the best pieces of co-eds. And that's, what this movie is about. The biggest problem this movie suffers from, it's a good movie and it moves very well, is it doesn't try to establish the characters of basically any of the female victims. Like, they all get like one scene, and then the next scene they're dead. Like, you skateboarding, the head, you see skateboarding, hits a window or a mirror, hits a mirror, has no scars. She's perfectly fine in the next scene, which is why I was confused. That I assumed it was the same person, but could not figure out why she looked like she had not just skateboarded through a mirror. That's it. And then she's decapitated. The torso is in a library, tells the guy, hey, I want to do it in a pool. Come meet me at the pool. And then gets killed in the pool. The arms get a couple of seats. The arms get the most. The arms get the most. Which, the arms are a dancer. The killer is watching them in a dance studio. And she's with a group of dancers. And I'm like, oh, that's got to be the legs. Like, it's a dancer. You take the legs, right? If you're taking any part of a dancer, it's the legs. This makes sense. It's the arms. He wanted her arms. Apparently she had better arms than legs, I guess. But yeah, she has a couple of scenes before she gets no dialogue. Like, she has almost no dialogue prior to getting her arms cut off. And I don't know. I'm not sure the movie makes it clear if she's dead or not. Like, they say she's alive, and I think they say that, she doesn't have a lot of the odds aren't in her favor, but they never come back to confirm or deny what I caught. If this character was alive or dead by the end of the movie, but you recognize the murderer, so I have to assume she's dead, because she is not the reason the murderer is found out in the end. The legs are a tennis player who gets her legs cut off after running around a locker room topless, because I guess this director really liked nudity in his films, because this movie's got a lot of it beyond the nudie photo. Basically not even every, I can't even say that, because there's a couple of women who show up, have little beats of dialogue, and are never seen again in this movie. The funniest it has a kung fu guy that comes out of nowhere, like attacks one of the characters. So, oh yeah, he's my karate instructor. Like, what the fuck? He's your karate instructor? He's your karate. Why is he outside? Why is he attacking this undercover cop? Why? I don't understand. The film doesn't need to explain. But I think it could have used a little more development of the pieces, the victims, who is being put together. Also, there's a reporter who gets killed as well, not for any of her pieces, because she's investigating the murders. And I feel like there wasn't enough. Like, there's 3 different characters you're supposed to suspect as the murderer, and I feel like the reporter didn't interact with any. She has a scene with one of them, and that's it. So, like, looking back, it's like, oh, that's very telegraphed. That the person she talks, that one of the herrings is the murderer, because they don't have even a scene, like, and it could have been a 30-second scene of her doing something with the other 2 in the same scene. Like, I don't think you needed a whole new scene, like individual scenes, or even a long scene. I think everything I would have wanted to make this movie go from pretty good to a perfect weird horror film could have added maybe 5 to 10 minutes to this movie. Because it's a little more character. The reporter working more with the other 2. And there was a third thing, and now I just can't remember it. There was a third thing. But again, these are all little things. It didn't take away my enjoyment of this movie. It's a fun movie. I really enjoyed Pieces. It's weird. You forgive a lot of stuff. Oh, there was a line of dialogue I wanted to bring up because I laughed my ass off when I heard it. One of the characters, the male lead, I guess, the most developed character in this entire film, he is in bed with anonymous woman who never shows up again because she's not a piece of anything. She's just there, and apparently she wants him so bad. He looks out and he sees the undercover cop, who he knows is an undercover cop, and he's there to help. He sees her, and he decides to go, give her backup because she's walking around at night with a murderer on the loose who's stealing women's parts. So this woman he has in bed, topless in bed, is just sitting there begging him to come back. He's like, man, how thirsty are you? How good is this man that you are begging, that you are offering to be gagged so you won't make noise? Because she offers it. She's like, you can gag me and then I won't make any noise, because she thinks he's running away because she's too loud in bed. This is a weird moment, but I laughed because it's a weird bit of dialogue. Oh, gag me. That's the solution. It's like, that's weird. This is just weird. Why? But yeah, I like Pieces. I thought it was a good movie. It's streaming on Tubi, so you can check it out on Tubi. It's decent. It was really good. That's the one I watched on the wrong format, because the 2 I bought, they were not worth rewatching. But Pieces is, and actually I have a physical copy showing up in the mail tomorrow. I watched it yesterday because I know I'm going to watch it again. So I know I'm going to want to watch it again because it was a really good horror film. I liked it. It was a good slasher film. It was weird. It was everything I want a slasher film. So yeah, so that was the one I should have bought. And I had seen it. At a pawn shop. For months I saw it sitting there. And I never bought it. I finally decided, I'm going to buy it. And that's when it's gone, obviously. So I didn't get that chance. But I think the copy I just bought is about maybe a couple of dollars more, but it's about the same price for a new copy that I was going to pay for this used copy. So it all works out in the end for me. Plus, it comes with a CD, like, of the music, which I don't know if the music really stuck out to me in this movie, but it has a CD. It also has a slightly longer cut of the movie, which is like 3 minutes longer. And I think an original, that's why I'm thinking in Spanish. I know I said Italian, but I think it's actually Spanish, because I think it also comes with an original Spanish dub. So maybe it was made for Spanish. I just feel like because it's set in Boston, like, they're pretty clear it's Boston. Even on, like, the vehicles, that it's Boston, that it seems weird that it would be made for Spanish audiences and then dubbed, but still be at Boston. Anyways, the final one, I just finished watching it 25 minutes ago, probably, because this has been recording for about 20 minutes, about 5 minutes setup. So yeah, about 25 minutes. It's called Curtains. I also watched this one off of Tubi. It's another one I had heard about. I couldn't remember if it was I heard positive things or negative things. I just know I heard definitely one positive thing from one part of this movie, and I couldn't remember anything else that was said. Now I'm almost certain there's one positive thing about this movie, and nothing else. This movie is about an actress who decides she's going to be playing a crazy woman in a film, so she decides to commit herself to learn about the role and learn about being a woman in an insane asylum firsthand. And her director boyfriend eventually just leaves her there and sets up a casting call with 6 other women to recast the role and seduce probably most of them was his plan. She breaks out of the insane asylum. They don't show how. They don't explain how. She has a friend who's never brought up before this and never brought up after this. But she has a friend, so yay, friends! To help her escape the insane asylum. And she goes to this, her director boyfriend's audition, which is being held at his house in a mountain that has magic snow. Because they have scenes of people like walking and driving in, and it's green. It's very green. But then there's a lake is frozen and there is snow on the ground. So, okay. But yeah, basically the 6 actresses who are there to audition are killed one by one, and it's a slasher film. One is killed before the audition even starts, like before they even leave. She's killed in her own house, which is really drawn out. Like, it was way too long. Like, that could have been shortened. Like, you weren't given anything about who this person was. The only reason you knew she was even auditioning for the movie is because she's walking around with a script. It's the only reason you know she's one of the 6. Eventually she says it, but it's after the long drawn out part of this happens. And also, there is a mention that bad weather is coming, but it's in somebody's dream. So you don't accept that as movie canon, that somebody who hears in their dream that there's going to be bad weather, then gets murdered when they wake up from said dream, actually do an actual weather report. The remaining 5 are up there. You're introduced to a character named Matthew. You don't know why Matthew is there. You don't know what his purpose in life is. He has no dialogue. He just walks in, sits down at a table, apparently has sex in a hot tub with one of the girls. I'll get to that in a second. That is my biggest gripe with this movie. And it's all over this movie. It's not just the hot tub scene. It's just the entire movie. And then is not even found dead. They just show him dead. Like, I want to say he's then found dead. But found dead indicates that, like, you know, Laurie Strode in Halloween finds her friends dead. She sees their dead bodies. It just cuts to him dead. Like, nobody finds him. He's just dead. It's frustrating. It's a frustrating thing. But yeah, so they start dying. The best kill, and this is what the reference that got me to want to watch this movie was from, was talking about this one kill. One of them is an ice skater who, for some reason, for a 2-day trip to the woods, brings 2 pairs of skates, which might be a skater thing. That might be a perfectly reasonable thing for someone who does not ice skate. I do not know why you need 2 pairs of skates. Maybe because it's 2 days and then you don't have to sharpen your skates. I don't know how quickly skates dull. If you're a professional, maybe they dull faster. I don't know. I don't know these things, but they brought 2 sets of skates because they're wearing one and the killer is wearing one. And it's very clear through dialogue, it's one of the few times anything is made clear through dialogue that she brought 2 sets of skates. But yeah, she's chased around the rink and eventually is beheaded by the killer. It's a pretty decent scene. This movie doesn't have any gore in it. It has... supposedly there's nudity. There's a side boob. Side boob? Like, there's a... So this movie, I'm just going to get to it right now. This movie is... They did not have a lighting budget on this movie. Everything is shot with, like, old school lamps that have no wattage to them. So everything is dark. If they're outside and all they have are backlit from the house, can't see anything. And that's why, like, oh, 2 people have sex in a hot tub. They're outside. It's a hot tub that's outside. They're backlit from the house. I don't even know which female was in the hot tub. No idea. I have no idea which character was in the hot tub because you cannot see any distinguishing anything. They cut to it a couple of times. Like they cut to a couple of different, like you get a straight on angle and then a couple of people looking out a window at the hot tub. At no point can you identify who this girl is, and you can't even use process of elimination because you don't even see all the girls who are in the house in these moments. There are still a couple missing. So no idea which one of them was in a hot tub with the unnecessary character who's apparently only there to get the one girl in the hot tub so this horror movie could have nudity, and then they didn't have enough lighting to have nudity. So great budgeting. But yeah, there's only of the 7 female characters who are in this movie, only 3 of them get any kind of decent explanation. The actress who's in the who escapes the insane asylum, obviously has some good character work done. I mean, in regards to this movie, it's good character work. One of the auditioning is another actress. So you get that. At least you know she's an actress. Another one is a stand-up comedian. You get to see a little bit of her act before she heads up there. The other ones, I said 7, so that's 3, so that leaves 4. The other 4 get no like you told one skates and another one's a musician, but I couldn't remember which one was the musician. I only know which one the skater one is because she died from skating. The last one I guess is a dancer. But you only know that because she's dancing and then she gets stabbed in the back. That's it. That's the only reason. I don't even know if you were ever given that character's name. I don't even know if anyone ever says it. It's a useless character who's just there to stand around and be a body. You get a final girl chase, but it's a meaningless final girl chase, which is weird to say because how can a final girl chase be meaningless? But yeah, it's a meaningless final girl chase because it's not the final girl. There were 3 girls left. One of them is the killer, one of them is a red herring, and then you have this other girl. The problem is you haven't revealed who the killer is, so you don't know that this is the final girl. All you know is that this is just a girl who's being stalked and has a very long death scene, who's running around like, oh, they're gonna be the hero, they're gonna survive this, and then they get killed. In the second best death of this movie, where again there's no gore, but it's very shot very well, where she's hiding in a vent and she's about to come out because she thinks the killer's gone, and then she gets dragged back through the vent. It's pretty good, and then you just hear the sound of her screaming as she's axe-murdered. So yeah. So by the end of this movie, you're left with the killer and the red herring with no clear clue who is who's the killer and who's the red herring. You're pretty sure who killed the director and the woman he was sleeping and the actress he was sleeping with, because they both get shot. You're pretty clear. They do not, like, other than just straight up showing the character's face, they do not hide the fact that is not the same. That part is not the same as the rest of the murders. And then they finally reveal, oh, this actress, this auditioner has been killing the competition so she can get the role. But she might also be dreaming all of this in a mental institution. The ending is very unclear as to if she was caught and sent to a mental institution, or if she was just in a mental institution this whole time and it was a dream, and the movie's not interesting enough to really to be worthy of that kind of an ending that's supposed to make you think, because it's bad. So it just should have had a straight up ending. Either she just have her get caught or not caught. I really don't care. Just give me an ending. Don't give me this vague bullshit ending. It only works in good movies. But yeah, so that's Curtains. I did not like it. I'm glad I watched it on Tubi. Although I just saw a great ad. That literally had to say that it was for life insurance. And it was about a family trying to kill their dad because he had great life insurance and they wanted the money. And the ad actually has to say, all policies are void if you murder the policyholder. Like, that shouldn't be a thing. You shouldn't have to stick that in there. You should be making this ad if you need that disclaimer in your ad. But yeah, Curtains, that was the best part of Curtains, was the ad. It is not a good movie. It's, again, the lighting. if they had lights and they could actually light the scenes, and give a little more character depth, because the girl who does the final girl chase, I have no idea who. I think it was the musician. It had, by process of elimination, it has to be the musician, who again was just sitting at a table. Like, did you bring your instrument to play some music? And like, that's the only reason I know she played music. And I'm just assuming it's her. B, I don't think one got two things, so I don't think that the one who was dancing is also got. Maybe she. I don't know. This movie was very bad, and did not want to try to develop their characters at all, because that's the problem with so many horror movies and so many slasher films is they don't develop their characters like any of their characters. They do very base development for a couple, and they don't want to dig any deeper. And I think that's to the detriment of a lot of them, because it just makes everything feel so like pointless. Like, you can have no character development and have awesome kills. Pieces, obviously, I praise that one, but those kills were really good. They were very well done, and that also was a very low budget film. They were very well done. I enjoyed them. So not knowing who the characters are, I got good kills out of it. But if you don't have the budget to have good kills, and you're doing everything like cutting away from the impact, then you need to have characters. You need to make, if I'm not looking at going, oh, that's a really cool effect, then you need me to go, oh man, I'm sad that character's dead. That you need to get something out of your audience, and I feel like Curtain is just another one of those horror films that can't do it. They can't get anything out of their audience. They can't pull anything out of the ether. So yeah, I just want to talk about those movies that I just watched over the last couple of days. I know tomorrow's Groundhog's Day, and my episode of Rank the Movies is not Groundhog's Day. I honestly did not realize Groundhog's Day was a Wednesday this year. So does Nicolas Cage, good or bad? Get to see me. It's a shittily shot video. I kind of regret it. Maybe I should just dump it into Groundhog's Day, but I'd have to go like shoot and edit it right now, and that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen at 9 o'clock at night. So when I have to work in the morning. Plus, I'd want to rewatch Groundhog's Day just so I can pull memory, but I find these things go a lot better when I've just watched it, because even talking about Trust to Kill and The Town That Dreaded Sundown, those are 2 days old, and already I'm kind of like really pulling to get stuff. But Pieces, which I really liked, was just yesterday, and Curtains, which I just finished watching. I got way more, and I can apparently get angry and ranty a lot more easily for a bad movie when I've just watched it and I've just seen it. But yeah, so check out Nicolas Cage, good or bad, which goes up tomorrow. I guess it goes up at midnight, so it goes up in a couple of hours. So I doubt anyone's gonna watch this for this plug to even fucking matter. So you've probably already watched Nicolas Cage, good or bad, and then realized this video was here. I don't know. I just rambled for a half an hour about a bunch of movies because I wanted to. People watch it? Awesome. Like the video, comment, subscribe so you don't miss other content. After Nicolas Cage, good or bad, I start talking about kids' movies for the rest of this month, for the rest of February. I think I'm doing kids' movies, 2 kids' movies a week. Because I don't talk a lot about kids' movies, and I decided to do that. They're videos. I should say they're great, shouldn't I? They're videos. They're done. They'll go up. Next time I'll probably be doing this. I don't know the next time I'll be doing this is. I want to do a huge dump of movies I've never seen before. I don't like doing that because I get like tired talking like I'm going to do 15 movies in a row. I get tired because I'm trying to like keep myself concise and talk about these movies, and it just doesn't work. So I don't know. I am seeing the sequel to Murder on the Orient Express next week, so there'll be a Death on the Nile review that'll be coming out. So let's see. That's my second favorite movie of all time. So we'll see how Death on the Nile compares. I don't think it'll compare. I'm trying to go in with low expectation. Like, not low expectations, but if I think Murder on the Orient Express is here in my ranking system of movies, I'm kind of trying to get Death on the Nile. I'm trying to get my expectations for it to land somewhere in here, because I think if I try to make it go here or even match, I think I'm going to be disappointed. I'd rather shoot for here, and then maybe be happily, find out that it belongs higher. So I'm trying to do that, but I got another week before I'll see it. So that review will be coming out. I kind of want to see Jackass Forever, but I've never seen any of the Jackass movies or watched the TV show, so I'm not sure I want to drop money on seeing Jackass Forever. But who knows? Who knows? So I'll see you next time I do these videos. I'm Martin. Rank the movies. Check out my other content. I got hundreds of videos at this point, between bonus videos and official Wednesday videos. I got a lot of videos to choose from, so check it out. Find something interesting. Watch me talk about it. Some of them are short. Some of them run damn near 40 minutes. One of them is 2 hours long, but I talk about 3 movies with guests. So that's fun. That's fun. All right, I'm going to stop rambling now. All right, have a good night. Have a good night. Peace.